Hey friends, it's Miss Chaos. Welcome back to yet another video where I reflect on my week and just talk about what happened, trying to frame it in a positive light so that I can I can detach myself from my emotions, not feel my emotions, but be able to observe them and not be influenced into actions by the way I perceive things as good or bad, because really there is no good or bad. Nothing is good or bad, it really depends on the perspective. So, um, I'm uploading my video this week a little bit later than usual because usually I reflect and record on Saturday, but this Saturday I met up with a friend. And that's the main sort of topic that I will talk about today, my friends, or rather, friendship. This friend in particular, I haven't seen her for 2 years. Time just flew by really quickly, and this is the friend that I got to know in university. That was many, many years ago, but at the same time, this is also a friend that I feel who I can easily reconnect and spend a lot of time together, which I did, and that's the reason I'm recording it today. So I feel like I'm talking a little vaguely, but this friend I actually got to know in a Catholic student club. Even though, well, I'm sort of an atheist now, but my parents went to a Catholic church and I was baptized. So, in order to make friends, and yes, I've for a long time struggled with maintaining friendships. Making friends was not a hard task for me because I have been a definitive extrovert by nature, and making new connections has always been sort of my goal and my focus in my life. Now, that being said, maintaining friendships or maintaining any relationships is a different story. Well, I'll revisit this in a bit, but this friend in particular, I befriended her there. Neither of us actually continued going to those gatherings for this particular club because it was kind of different from what we expected. But we maintained contact and we were really close for a few years there then. But recent years, we've sort of focused on our own jobs, and because she is very much an introvert, and because I got absorbed in my own um, tasks, life, uh, time just flew on, and just out of sheer curiosity, and because I've sort of stabilized my routine in the recent months, I've sort of come completely out of a whim reached out to her and offered to spend more time with her. So I went to see her on Saturday. We were initially talking, are we going to have lunch together or dinner together? And I said, why don't I come over for lunch? So I did. We cooked together, had a feast together, and then we started talking and just went on for hours on end, to the point where I actually ate dinner there as well. We met around 1 and I went home around 10. So I feel really, really blessed to have a friend in my life who I can easily rekindle the previous connection that I had, even if it has been an extended period of time. I wouldn't I wouldn't say that this applies to all my friends. Of course, there are other friends in my life who I take care to meet more often than like once in 2 years, obviously, and I hope to actually do that with this particular friend. But in the past, I've had issues and conflicts with other people, acquaintances, who expressed disappointment and bit of bitterness for my inability to give back the same level of care and attention that they did for me. I would, as I have repeatedly said in my channel, I would have periods of like excitement and then periods of long depression where I just did not make any contact with anybody. And during this time, some could not just handle, some could not understand or accept such moodiness. which I completely understand on my own, and that's why I have not, um, yeah, that's why I have tried not to regret those decisions. Friends, in my definition, are those who accept each other for their own and try to encourage each other to do well. But most importantly, as I am striving to take myself away from that mindset of fix it mentality, deficiency mentality, where you should do this, just as much I would apply to myself, I should be doing this. If I think about that about myself, I couldn't help but to keep on interjecting myself and making unsolicited comments and advices to those around me. Now, I've learned that that's not how I want to foster friendships or any relationships for that matter, whether it's friends or family or romantic, platonic. Um, so ultimately, it just kind of circles back to the point that I am so grateful that I have this friend and many friends, but this one in particular who is so consistent in their own life that my chaos have never really affected them too much. And that's what I've been so attracted in this particular person in the very beginning. I've sort of felt not jealousy, but I admired their stability. They've always been that way. And in fact, even though I would say that I've changed quite a bit in the way I think and the way I perceive the world considerably over the years. This particular friend, I would say, has been quite consistent since years past. And that I have felt is something that I admire greatly, and that's why I've even for instance this kind of scenario where time moves on, but I would actually go back and reach out and try to rekindle that. Um, I would feel the want to do that because I don't want to lose a friend like that. So ultimately, people say, I mean, we say that, oh, friends come and go, those who will stay will stay. This is just one example of it. If we hold expectations, if we hold certain wants from other people, we are tying ourselves to the inevitable disappointment. But if we focus on who they are, why they what it is that they do that impacts us positively, and focus on how we feel towards our world, towards these people, we can be assured that we are fine just the way we are. I'm afraid that I haven't been so concise in my way of speech today, because partly I am sort of overwhelmed with the gratitude I feel for having such a friend in my life for since I was young. For many years, my only wish really was to have a true friend, a friend who I could do things with, who I could rely on. But I think that was the reason why I couldn't make friends, because I had such wants and expectations and needs to be with certain people. Now, because I can hold my own, because I am happy being the person that I am, I think I'm more at ease with people in my life who I am humbled to call my friends, who have endured the taciturn nature that I made them suffer through. And for that I will be eternally grateful. Aside from that, on a more light-hearted note, I'm sort of not doing the great job of my daily reading goal, but that's something that I will address for sure. Um, and I am now actually getting ready to go back to work. I have about another week or more left, and until that point, I'm going to try to reestablish my routine. I talked about routine last week, and yes, I've sort of started to do that, but I started to slip again. My goal was to wake up at 8 a.m., but now it's been kind of pushed to 10 a.m. I want to push it back so that it's not a big impact on my system when I actually need to. I've been doing a great job of eating regularly, eating healthy meals, and continuing to sort of pay attention to my budgeting with, the inflation, the grocery prices are like nothing we've seen, right? So just going to investigate and experiment with new recipes and continuing to give myself the encouragement that I need to keep my head up and continue to try. So, for any of you who have actually watched this video this far, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on my journey, for just listening to me, to someone who is struggling to adopt new habits, to break out of my cycle of karma, to see the positive in life is really meaningful. Even though I may not be responding to all the comments, I am still, I still read over them carefully and try to answer any questions that you may pose on my actual videos. Lastly, I have started posting Baldur's Gate 3 videos on my channel. It's just one of the playlists that I will be making. Going forward, I'll be doing travel vlogs. I'll be doing some gaming videos. I've actually been a fervent subscriber of a few gaming channels / YouTubers for many years, and it actually brings me so much joy to be able to produce them myself. I would prefer to actually record these videos with my own voice recording so that it feels more real, especially in the RPG games. Like Baldur's Gate, I actually want to read out the conversation choices that I actually make to seem more real. But I actually don't have the equipment yet, so that will be another idea for improvement in the future. So yeah, just another week passed. It has been a good week, and I hope the next week is just as good. Thanks for watching.